Did you see the Emmys on Sunday? Winner of the Emmy for the best bunch of hypocrites on TV was the Emmys themselves. There they were on Sunday in LA, the whole shebang, the stars gloriously maskless, mingling with barely a thought to social distancing or to the virus that we're told will kill, I guess, every Republican anti-vaxxer and hillbilly out there, but certainly not any TV or movie stars. Not them, not these profiles in courage, people prepared for anything, the virus, whatever, and even for teaming purple and yellow with white. It took Seth Rogen to finally address the virus in the room, that here they all were, these stars in LA County, which actually happens to demand people wear a mask at any indoor event.
Let me start by saying there is way too many of us in this little room. What are we doing? They said this was outdoors. It's not. They lied to us. We're in a hermetically sealed tent right now. I would not have come to this.
But you see, this was an event planned with all the legal cunning of a Hollywood lawyer drafting a NDA for Harvey Weinstein. Technically, the Emmys people argued, a tent, even though it's got a roof and it's got walls and it's sealed from the weather, that's not really indoors. Even though, of course, the whole point of this mask law distinguishing between indoors and outdoors is to distinguish between an enclosed space and one outdoors where the breeze, the passing wind, will disperse the virus. That is the critical point. Because obviously, when you're outdoors, I mean really outdoors and not in a sealed tent, you're then much less likely to get infected. In short, this was a con. And yet, here was the cream of American showbiz, right? All gathering together, putting the whole thing to air, national, on CBS and Paramount Plus, assuming that no one watching would notice the hypocrisy here. This pathetic, hair-splitting hypocrisy. But I know, you're right, to point out this hypocrisy, really, big deal. What's new? I mean, how often have we seen the people in charge of making the commoners obey these virus laws? How often have we seen these same people then break their own laws? I mean, how many examples do you need? I mean, US virus guru Anthony Fauci, how about him wearing his face mask under his chin? And I don't really blame him, because he knew, of course, that he at least is in the open air, not in a tent. And in the open air, well, then the masks are really just for show. Or take Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot getting herself a haircut after closing down beauty parlors for everyone else. And then there's House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. What is it with Democrats and hair salons? She visited a hair salon that was closed to everyone else as well. And then there was the maskless at a wedding. Or how about the mayor of Washington, D.C., maskless at a wedding, when humblest citizens are told to mask up or else? This kind of hypocrisy is such a common phenomenon, particularly among politicians of the left. And we see it all around the world. All around the world. It's as if your political masters think that this virus doesn't actually kill privileged people like them. It's just hitting the rude masses, people too stupid. In Scotland, the woke chief minister had to admit she was in the wrong over COVID rules that she actually broke herself, had to apologise. In New Zealand, the health minister, now ex, David Clark, well, he had to resign after breaking his own lockdown to go mountain biking. And in Britain, the Prime Minister's top advisor, he travelled 400 kilometres during their lockdown. So what is the real message in all of this? Apart from, of course, underlining that very, very human failing, that power corrupts, particularly, absolutely, by making the powerful feel free from the laws meant to bind lesser folk. Well, for me, the lesson here is the one that the mayor has accidentally hit on in trying to excuse her own hypocrisy. Caught out getting up to jive at a jazz club without wearing the mask that she's prescribed for everyone else. Now, the Mayor, London Breed, should have just apologised, my bad. But she's not into sorries, apparently. Instead, this Mayor that we all thought was affiliated with the Democrats instead revealed her inner libertarian. Who knew? Suddenly, she's someone committed to personal responsibility, like a Republican, committed to your right to decide risk for yourself, to balance the fun against the danger, and to accept the consequences.
Like, we don't need the fun police to come in and try and micromanage and tell us what we should or shouldn't be doing. We know what we need to do to protect ourselves.
Well said, Mayor. But is that knowledge and that right to decide for yourself reserved for just the Mayor? Or is it common to us all? Something that all of us should be allowed to do.